Program Director, I'm not sure whether you could hear me. Can I go ahead? Okay. Program Director, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocol observed. Allow me to extend a very warm greetings from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, on behalf of Ms. Fefe Dwabayo, our Deputy Head of Mission and Chargé d'Affaires, who could not be here today due to unforeseen work-related circumstances. The embassy was requested to share some insights on export opportunities in Ethiopia. Perhaps it's important to start with the following background. Ethiopia is strategically located in the Horn of Africa. It shares borders with Eritrea to the north and northeast, with Djibouti and Somalia to the east, Sudan and South Sudan to the west, and Kenya to the south. And these are the very important countries, IGAD countries, which is intergovernmental a body for development in this region. Program Director, Ethiopia prides itself with approximately 114 million citizens, which is the second biggest population in Africa. And as we would all know, the first one is Nigeria with about 206 million people. Ethiopia also continues with its annual double-digit growth at the rate of 7.7% in 2018 and 8.97% in 2019. Of course, the impact of COVID-19 with all the economies, they are not yet determined. Sorry. It is important to indicate that also Ethiopia's major imported products in 2019 included machinery, which included computers, aircrafts, and spacecraft, electrical machinery, equipment, pharmaceuticals, iron, steel, vehicles, plastics, and plastic articles. Ethiopia's major exported products in 2019 include coffee, oilseeds, chat, pulses, cut flowers, leather, and leather products, and gold. Ethiopia's top 5 export trading partners in 2019 included China, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, India, and Italy. Ethiopia's top investment partners in 2019 included China, Saudi Arabia, the United States, India, and Turkey. Ethiopia's external debt in 2019 was about 39 billion US dollars. Coming to bilateral relations, it is important to indicate that the relations between the two countries were formalized in 2004. These relations are conducted through what is known as joint ministerial cooperation. It is also important to indicate that these relations between the two countries are premised on very strong historical ties. We will all remember that our former president, Nelson Mandela, did get his first military training in Ethiopia in the 90s. Also, those who read his literature, he also prided himself to first put his, or actually to see the black pilot in Ethiopia. Program Director, the JMC, which is the Joint Ministerial Commission, supervises implementation of about 11 signed bilateral agreements and 6 memoranda of understanding. Some of these are underway, others are negotiated accordingly. The sectors that are covered by these agreements and memoranda of understanding include trade and investment, double taxation, agriculture, defense, industrial and technical cooperation, science and technology, wildlife and environment, transport, health and tourism. Before I move away from this slide, I just want to indicate that this is actually where our core as government, and this is where we do the real work, which is kind of behind the scenes. Because when our businesses come, whether to trade or invest in Ethiopia, we actually, as the embassies, they go back and see what the two governments agreed on. Whether there's areas of expansions, whether it comes to areas of disputes, whether it comes to opportunities. This is our backstop, these agreements and memoranda of understanding. So this is what we do. We work for our business people to through these agreements and these memoranda of understanding to ensure that things run smoothly, and where there are misunderstandings, we also use these instruments to ensure that the ease of doing business in our host countries is indeed manageable and workable for our business community. Program Director in January 2020, His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed paid an official visit to South Africa. During the visit, the Prime Minister and His Excellency President Ramaphosa agreed on the following critical areas. One, to elevate the relations between the two countries to strategic partnership level. Secondly, to strengthen trade and investment ties as a key focus area. So our participation here it's not just by chance, it's a mandate at the highest possible level between the two countries. And hence we said to the organizers, we're very excited about this initiative and actually declared our willingness to participate. Ladies and gentlemen, some of the information that I'm going to give to you now was provided by the department. We took it actually from the sources provided by our Department of Trade and Industry and Competition. The bilateral trade figures illustrated a decline in the past 5 years between Ethiopia and South Africa, from 114 million in 2015 to 102 million rands in 2019. The exports, that is SA exports to Ethiopia, decreased from 103 million in 2014 to a little over 900 million in 2019. It is important to indicate that the 5 top exports to Ethiopia during this period, that is 2019, included vegetable products, which was at 31%, machinery and mechanical appliances and electrical equipment stood at 21%, vehicle products, which lies squarely with the ore, which speaks to the Eastern Cape per se. The vehicle products were at about 15%, and all other products constituted 18%. According to the DIC, Industrial Policy Action Plan, this illustrates reasonably diverse coverage of the market and an opportunity for expansion for our business community. Program Director, the composition of the export market is illustrated above above further indicates demand and potential for exports, expansion and investment in industrial and agricultural sector inputs. Now coming to SA imports. South Africa imports from Ethiopia also decreased during this same period from 110 million to about 100 million. The top 5 imports from Ethiopia in 2019 included vegetable products at about 50%, optical and medical and surgical products at 3%, textile and textile articles at 8%, machinery and mechanical appliances and electrical equipment at 11%, prepared foodstuffs at 7%, and all other imports amounted to 21%. SA imports from Ethiopia are dominated by agricultural products, namely coffee and spices. Prospects of trade and investment for the South African business expansion include supply of agribusiness services, storage, transportation, agricultural equipment and machinery, processing technologies, and of course potential to expand to the SA footprint in the East African market. As I indicated from the beginning, the other countries in IGAD that Ethiopia borders. Program director, there's also South African presence, South African business presence in Ethiopia. To mention but a few, these include PPC, that is Pretoria Portland Cement, in the construction industry, Black Rhino in transportation, NAMPAC, dealing with ceramics and glass, East African Bottling Share, Standard Bank Group, that is financial services, and EGICO, which is business services. As indicated, Program Director, most of this information that I spoke to above was we took it from our Department of Trade and Investment and Competition. Program Director, it's important to also indicate that since 2018, when Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed took premiership, he introduced wide-ranging reforms that include political and economic reforms. The economic reforms are contained in a document known as Homegrown Economic Reform Agenda. Broad focus areas contained in this document include agriculture, tourism, manufacturing, and mining. So this is the area that I think all the South African investors, including the Eastern Cape, should really look at closely. Ethiopia also made pronouncements on partial or full privatization in key state-owned enterprises that include industrial parks, railway projects, sugar factories, hotels, and other manufacturing industries that allow foreign investor participation. Program Director, the giant state-owned telecommunications company is currently unbundled, and South African companies such as Telkom, Vodacom, and MTN showed interest and bidded in the process. We are currently waiting for the outcomes of the successful bidder, as far as I know. Program Director, I'm not going to waste any time and speak on African Continental Free Trade Area, except to indicate that Ethiopia is among the countries that deposit their instruments of ratification of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which came to force on 30 May 2019. It is just important to mention that tariff barriers, non-tariff barriers on intra-trade and trading by the women form part of milestones of this flagship agreement, signed and operationalized during South Africa's tenure as the chair of the African Union. I think the experts in this area really did expand yesterday. Program Director, when I'm about to close, I just want to indicate that there are, with all these reforms that are taking place in Ethiopia, there are important documents that will be willing as an embassy to share on request. The embassy had a liberty to participate with some of the road shows that were organized by the Ethiopian Investment Commission, and we had a privilege to get a presentation of major legal reforms introduced by the new investment regime in Ethiopia. And also, what was of importance to us is the initiative taken by the Ethiopian government, which looks at investors' issues and potential solutions. You will know that as investors, almost all the time there are issues between them and the host country and their partners. So it is very important that the government of Ethiopia recognize this, and they indicated in some of those roadshows that they are trying to create a one-stop show to try to ensure that they resolve these problems in whichever area. And as embassies, we are partnership in this process. Whenever our business people are encountering problems, we are there to assist. In closing, Program Director, Ethiopia is a market full of opportunities and possibilities. Exporters and investors are encouraged to explore the Ethiopian market. The embassy stands ready to facilitate, to engage, to advise, follow up, and find out where necessary in all trade and investment related activities between the Eastern Cape Province and broader country and Ethiopia. I thank you.